Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Ari. So happy to have you here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell to get notified every time I post a new video. So today we are going to be talking about Mexican rapper Lefty SM. I don't know if you guys have heard about him, but in the Mexican community, he is very well known, specifically for his song that in a way became the second Mexican national anthem called Por Mi México. So Lefty SM's real name was Juan Carlos Sauceda. He was 31 years old and he was born in San Luis, Colorado, Mexico on April 22nd, 1992. And the city which he grew up in, being located across the border from San Luis, Arizona, influenced his bilingual style. Lefty grew up in a middle-class family. He had 4 brothers and his father was a welder, and as a kid Lefty would go into his dad's shop and help him out, and eventually he became a welder himself.
Pues guacha, yo desde morro me acuerdo como de los 6 años, 7 más o menos. Mi papá es mecánico diésel, de troques, de trailers, y me acuerdo que desde bien morrido me llevaba a mí, a mi hermano más grande, que pone que yo tenía 6, 7 y mi hermano me llevaba por 2 años, y nos llevaba así a los talleres a trabajar, y andamos de morritos mugrosos ahí. Entonces de morir le ayudábamos. Yo me acuerdo que él desbarataba las partes y nosotros nos ponía que se las laváramos. Ya me acordé porque aprendí a soldar, güey. Resulta que una vez en un taller, yo por andar de borracho me gustaba mucho. Ya cuando me empedaba faltaba, los jales faltaba. Y en uno me corrieron, pues, y me iba por buscar jale, buscar trabajo en otra parte. Pero ya había salido mal de un chingo de talleres de mis tíos y así, ya no quería pedirle a ellos. Y me acuerdo que miré hice una nota en el periódico que estaban buscando soldadores, ¿no? Y dije, no sé soldar, pero pues si aprendí a cara mecánica puedo aprender eso. Y fui, me acuerdo que llegué y me dijo, vato, no, ven para acá. Y yo no sabía que era una constructora esa madre. Y fui, me llevó el vato y era como se cuenta, por ejemplo, este edificio, pero sin el techo, güey. Y estaba bien alto. Me dijo, no, hay que hacer el techo, esta estructura. Y dije, a la verga, y miré bien alto esa madre. Dije, no, yo no me voy a subir ahí. Me dijo, pero vente mañana. Dijo, ahorita no tengo máquina. Dije, no. Y yo me quedé en el camino. Dije, no vengo. Y resulta que sí fui.
He began making music around the age of 16, and he was heavily influenced by hip-hop artists like 50 Cent and Eminem, along with the regional Mexican music he grew up with, such as corridos. And at first, his plan was to continue with welding, and him and his friends would just make music as a hobby just for fun, but eventually he realized that rap was his life. But given he did not have the money to finance his music career at the time, he had to continue working as a welder. When he started recording his first singles, he took up the name Lefty due to the fact that he was left-handed. He actually first started as zurdo, which is left-handed in Spanish, but then he changed it to Lefty in English, which he thought just sounded better. His career took off in 2017 when he launched his YouTube channel and he began to gain reputation in the Mexican urban scene. He was signed to Alzada Records based in Guadalajara. His first album, Avión de Papel, was released in 2019, following by Necesidad in 2020, which was in collaboration with Santa Fe Clan, which was a complete success. And while working on the album Necesidad, the rappers thought that it was missing a track, so they eventually added Por Mi México. And this song skyrocketed his fame, going viral on TikTok and gaining over 100 million views on YouTube. Por Mi México, referred to as the second national anthem, remix version debuted at number 44 and reached a peak of number 29 on the US Hot Latin Songs chart with 1.4 million streams, becoming Lefty's first song to enter a Billboard chart. So this song really skyrocketed him to success really fast. His final album was Shit Masiva with Sauceda SM, which was released about a year after his death. Which is so sad because if he gained that much success with just 2 albums, we can only imagine the success he would have had if he would have continued creating, and sadly, we won't ever know. And seeing that his future in music looked promising, he moved to Jalisco, where he met and married a fitness influencer named Maria Isabel, also known as Esa Marie, and they went on to have 2 daughters, Casey and Sierra, which were his world. And besides his music, Lefty did have a barbershop in Sonora and a clothing line named 50 Grados. And on September 26, 2022, Lefty bought his first home in Jalisco, the same home where sadly his life would end. And on the night of September 2nd, 2023, Lefty was at his home in Zapopan, Jalisco with his wife and 2 daughters when 3 men in a white sedan with no plates entered his neighborhood, getting through security, and then they headed to Lefty's house. They barged in his house where Lefty was in his bedroom with his wife. They attempted to grab him to take him with them, so they were trying to kidnap him, but obviously Lefty fought back. So after the scuffle and the men seeing that they weren't being successful in kidnapping Lefty, they shot him twice, once in his abdomen and once in his leg, in front of his wife and his 2 daughters. So after the see the 3 men left, and his wife was just hysterical and terrified. She was trying to help Lefty by putting pressure on the wound, but then she realized that he was bleeding out too fast and that an ambulance would probably take too long to get there. So she did what she could, manage to get him in the car to drive him to the nearest hospital. But unfortunately, there was nothing the doctors could do, and Lefty lost his life around 1 a.m. on September 3rd, 2023. The news of his death was announced by his record label, Alzada, later that morning. They put out a statement saying, "Dear Alzada friends and family, with profound sadness, we're informing you about the death of our brother Lefty SM, Juan Carlos Sauceda. Our love and prayers are with his wife, Maria Isabel, and their 2 daughters." And then his wife took to social media to confirm the news. She made a post saying for nobody to contact her. She felt that it was just a bad dream. She just wanted to wake up, but unfortunately, this was not the case, and her life had in fact become a nightmare.
¿Tus hijas vieron todo?
Todo.
Estaban juntos, estaban en familia los 4.
Sí, estamos juntos. No sé quién dijo que las cámaras estaban apagadas ese día. No sé quién inventó todo eso. O sea, de que mis hijas no estaban ahí, de que las cámaras estaban apagadas. O sea, así que yo salí corriendo a pedir ayuda. No había nadie. En ese momento no había nadie afuera. No sabía qué hacer, no sabía cómo actuar. O sea, yo entré en shock. Y yo, pues, ¿quién me marco? ¿Qué hago? No sé si marcar. O sea, una ambulancia en Guadalajara dura, ¿qué? 2 horas yo creo para llegar, o yo qué sé.
Claro.
Por el tráfico.
Lefty's death caused widespread shock and grief in the Latin hip-hop community. Fellow artists, including MC Davo and Santa Fe Clan, expressed their condolences and disbelief. He had just been in Mexico to perform with his friend MC Davo just that last Friday. Davo shared his grief in a video on Instagram. "How is this possible? I can't believe it. Really, I can't believe it, man," Davo said with tears in his eyes.
No puedo creerlo, cabrón. En serio, no puedo creerlo, güey.
In Santa Fe Clan, his former collaborator and friend, took to Instagram to pay tribute to Lefty and disbelieve.
Te quiero que mi carnal el Lefty escuche hasta el cielo. Hasta arriba, carnales. Para que se escuche hasta el cielo. Arriba, 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 México, perros. Hasta arriba, arriba, México.
And thousands of fans and friends showed up at his funeral in his hometown of San Luis, Colorado, to show their respects.
Así llegó el cortejo fúnebre del rapero Lefty SM a la funeraria del Valle en San Luis Río Colorado, de donde era originario Juan Carlos Sauceda. El funeral del rapero no solo convocó a sus fans, a quienes la familia les permitió el acceso sin celular al velatorio. De 2 en 2 pudieron entrar. También acudieron importantes raperos de la escena mexicana amigos de Lefty, Secan, Darius y el Tiro Loco entre ellos. A su vez, los cantantes convocaron a sus fans a publicar el hashtag Justicia para Lefty a partir de las 9 de la noche. El rapero Santa Fe Clan, con quien Lefty SM grabó su última colaboración, dedicó esta canción a Lefty. Hasta esta noche, los fans del rapero siguen a las afueras del velatorio en San Luis Río Colorado, esperando poder ver al cantante.
Motorcyclists, pickup trucks with Mexican flags roared their engines in all directions. Circles formed in the streets, popping wheelies and performing tricks. He'll never die, Lefty's always going to be eternal, said Adrian Castañeda, riding in the back of a truck with several of his friends doing circles around the roundabout, waving a flag, waiting to sing Por Mi México remix. So hours after his tragic death, the rumor started circulating that it was due to a robbery gone wrong. And according to this theory, Lefty let the men in his home, and after they were unsuccessful in robbing him, they him down. However, his wife was quick to come out and debunk that rumor. She stated that Lefty never wanted to open the door to the men, but that they forced their way in all the way to their bedroom where they tried to kidnap him. She confirmed that Lefty was not in any dangerous activities. He was a family man that worried about the safety of his family and lived a normal life. He didn't instigate problems with anyone, just took care of his family. That she is sure it was a targeted attack due to jealousy of his success. He had worked so hard to fulfill his dream, and sadly, with success comes envy. So with due reason, the case caused chaos online. His fans wanted to know what really happened, and they started demanding a thorough investigation and a fast response from the Jalisco authorities, which seemed to not be really advancing in the case. And if you're familiar with Mexican authorities, it's very corrupt, and a lot of times justice is not served, and his family and his fans were scared that this was just going to be one of those many cases that never get solved. So as the days went by, and thanks to the insistency of his fans, the authorities came out and said that the tragedy was in fact not a robbery gone wrong, as nothing had been taken from his house. Therefore, the robbery theory was fast debunked. So with that, the theory of it being a targeted attack grew, but the authorities could still not pinpoint a motive. And his wife, Maria Isabel, continued to work with the police, and obviously the fear for her life and her daughter's life grew, knowing that their life could possibly be in danger if she helped uncover the truth. I mean, the three men that did this to them were still free, and she was the primary witness. So representatives of the hip-hop community demanded justice and made a statement to the president and the governor, pointing out the danger that Lefty's family were in. And thanks to this statement going viral, law enforcement finally provided security for Maria Isabel and her two girls. Nonetheless, the case didn't really make any advancements, and even though the authorities asked the family to keep the details of the case private, Lefty's brother, Christian Zamora, got tired of not getting any answers. So 3 months after Lefty's death, he actually released video surveillance from Lefty's home of the same day that he was, in hopes that somebody could help him identify the three men. He was sure that the lack of advancement in the case was not a coincidence, if you know what I mean. So he felt that he had to take it upon himself to get some answers and put pressure on the police.
Fue un ataque directo y hasta ahí que están en el caso, pero pues no miro avances.
Impotencia de no poder hacer nada, de no poder ir a Guadalajara y reclamar y preguntar qué es lo que está pasando.
El hermano del artista asegura que ofreció los videos a la Fiscalía de Jalisco, pero no los requirieron.
And in his desperation, he also posted a reward of 500,000 pesos for any information that would help the case. And in the video surveillance, you could see how the men get inside the home. They make their way upstairs to the couple's bedroom door. Then you could see them pushing on the door, trying to force their way in. You could hear Maria Isabel screaming, and her screams woke up their daughters. One of them actually gets out of her room, and poor baby girl very courageously tries to defend her dad. So obviously her mom picks her up, and they try to run to safety. Then you can see how they force Lefty downstairs to try to take him out of the house while Lefty is trying to fight the two of the men off. And in the video, you can hear Lefty threaten one of them, calling him by his name, Luis Carlos. Then the third man threatens Lefty, telling him they are going to kill him. And you could hear Maria Isabel plead for her husband's life, but sadly, that did not stop them. So once Lefty's wife, Maria Isabel, realizes that these videos are out, she was furious. She didn't want those videos out. I don't know for what reason. Maybe she just didn't really want people to see her husband in his last moments. But nonetheless, that is what helped the case advance. There was very little the police had to work with in Lefty's. But after the videos, everyone started speculating who this mysterious Luis Carlos was. And it was evident that it was someone that Lefty knew, obviously, if he called him by his name. The rapper Menace spoke out after the video went viral and pointed to who was supposedly the attacker. And he indicated that it was a man known as Lobby. In addition, a YouTuber along with Lefty's brother identified in a video the man that Lefty called Luis Carlos as Luis Mario Plasencia as the alleged perpetrator of Lefty's murder. And thanks to the brother's statement, it was actually revealed that Lefty and his alleged killer knew each other and they actually had a close connection. To add more outrage to the case, it was said that this Luis Mario Plasencia, which is the alleged is the son-in-law of a former judge in the Jalisco prosecutor's office, which could explain why the case wouldn't move forward.
También dice que recibió confidencias de que uno de los sospechosos sería el novio de la hija de un exfuncionario mexicano.
Hay intereses de por medio ya. No sé quién está enfriando esto, pero pues queremos llegar hasta las últimas consecuencias.
With the pressure from Lefty's fans and the internet, the authorities finally initiated the process to charge this man with homicide. And on January 19th of 2024, Luis Mario Plasencia was arrested. He was given a year of preventative detention while they investigated his connection to the crime. And even though this was a step in the right direction, the other two men are still free. And to this day, his family is still seeking justice and hoping that the other two men will be found and arrested. Lefty's wife shared the Jalisco prosecutor's office post, which read, "Finally, justice will be served. Now we just have to wait for the case to actually move forward and not just be another one of the many that end up going nowhere." The legacy that Lefty SM left is undeniable, and his contributions to the Mexican music will become a source of inspiration to new generations of artists. The Mexican community continues to pay tribute to Lefty to make sure he is never forgotten. It's just so sad every time we see so many of these artists with so much talent go so young, especially not even because we lose out on the talent. I mean, that's sad, but a lot of these artists leave children. He left his two baby girls that are not going to grow up with their dad now, and that is just no words for that. That is so sad, and the fact that it happened in front of them, those poor girls will forever be scarred, and that just breaks my heart. And my prayers go to his family, his baby girls. I hope that one day they can learn to live with that trauma, and I pray that one day he gets justice and that the other two men are found. Mexico is just it's so scary over there. We think it's bad here. Over there, it's 10 times worse, and it's just scary. We just have to pray for this world because you never know. So let me know in the comments if you heard about this case. And as always, please remain respectful. I want to thank all of you for your support it doesn't go unnoticed. I just cannot thank you guys enough every time. I'm sorry if I repeat myself all the time, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye guys, love y'all.